Oh, you're
So,
so funny.
indeed. So,
Yeah.
welcome to the interview of Adimarchus, also known as Iron Lung the Bearded.
Iron Lung is Captain Ironbeard to you, sir.
Oh, Lieutenant. Got it.
Listen,
General?
listen, no,
All right, all right.
Weasel. I'm gonna strangle you. I swear.
Yes, strangle me through the screen. I'd like to see that. I would get
Yeah,
all the views.
sure. I'll just send my Skelly boy after you.
Oh boy. Anyway, so this is a different setup. You already know the rules, but and so do I,
I.
but they don't. In short, this is a rough interview, more or less, where we're not talking about you, the person, but we're going to be talking about you, the character. And as such, there might be a little bit of playing around as characters, but that's neither here nor there. So, now that I've got you in my giant screen TV to suck the info out of your head, please tell us,
Uh,
what is your name?
well, Well, are we going for my character's name or going for me?
Character's name.
Okay, character's name is Captain Ironbeard. Um, Being of course a pirate and all.
So, is he like
Uh,
on a normal wooden ship, a metal ship, or a flying ship?
a flying ship. He's
Oh,
actually on an airship. Rules the air and the seas.
can it get it right on the seas too?
Yes.
Okay, so it's multifunctional.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm excited about it.
so tell me about your life story, especially all the parts where your greatest fears and whatnot, so I can use that on you later.
Greatest fears, huh? Greatest fears.
You know, besides drowning or falling
Besides
from great
drowning.
heights,
Oh, heights are terrible.
especially when you're in a flying airship.
Oh yeah, especially when you get vertigo. But that's always a thing. No, it's fun. It's
If only
fun
you had
to
the
go
wings.
into. Who needs wings? You know, not all dragons have wings, sir.
You don't need wings. You got Red Bull. Not
Oh
sponsored.
my god, that's supposed to. No, it's called Red Wing
Oh,
or Red Stars. Remember, get it right. It's Red Stars in the Mobian community.
uh, I had oh, I never heard of that one. Weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, this isn't about me. This is about
Yeah.
you, and not about drinks, but
No.
about you. Tell me your life story.
Um, Captain
Lord time.
Ironbeard. Well, let's do some lore time. Captain Ironbeard actually originated from from the mountainous areas of Mobius, or in some places it'd be an alternate use for turbine. Um, he had his whole entire dragon race consisted of like different types of tail types, where mine is more club like. Uh, they would either have axe, spear like ones, and
Oh,
they were mostly for slave laborers, right? They were the working force of the mountain, kind of like dwarves, in a sense.
so the one that was
You
born with the
know,
pickaxe was just really good at their job?
yes.
Huh.
Um, so we would mine, we would be a blacksmith, we would cut trees, that sort of thing. But we became such a working force that this faction came in and took us as as slaves. It got to the point where my character was really tired of working under this foreman, and I took out his second in command, which is a Robian,
Ah.
and I took that Robian's head
So for
and
context, for others who don't know, Robians are Mobians like us, but robots
robot.
turned into
Yes.
robots. Go on.
So I took that Robian's head and claimed it as my first victory, and took it with me as I escaped the area.
So you took his head and turned it into a mug?
No, I actually it's part of my wrench.
Okay, I don't know which is worse.
Oh no, no, just to show like, hey, no, I'm not the type of guy to mess with. I'm also not a good guy. I am a villain. Uh, you know.
So what do you do that's villainous?
I mean, I pillage and plunder,
Do you just,
and I yeah, I love power. I am a guy who seeks power.
I mean, power is delicious. Tastes like
It is.
candy.
Um,
But
Pillage and
like,
plunder for treasure. Uh, and that's the thing about like loot for pirates is that they don't just go after gold coins or, in our sense, gold rings. There is the silks, the foods,
oh yeah,
ammunition, that
anything
kind of thing.
anything that isn't nailed out and has value. But
Yes.
since you claim to be more of a villain than a raider or something, especially given your previous experiences, what do you do to the people that you ransack? Most notably the civilians.
Mostly as civilians. I mean, I don't essentially like kill them. I mean, they're essentially knocked out. They're left like poor.
Ah, okay. See, I wasn't sure if you were taking them as slaves or just murdering mercilessly. That's
I
even a
mean, you
word.
it's either you join me and become part of my crew kind of thing,
Ah,
or even there's a few civilians that have been around that become part of the crew,
willingly or
but like
forced?
some of them more willingly
Hmm.
because they're like, ooh, I like that adventure. Let's go.
Oh yeah, tired of farming. I want something more exciting. I want to get shot at.
Uh,
Uh, so this is how you've grown your wealth and manpower after you've escaped. Did you ever look back at your fellow dragons? Did you ever go to try to liberate them, or what happened with that?
that's actually my plan. That's the reason why I wanted
Hmm.
to amass a crew as well as venture forth and get the loot that I need and desire so I can
See,
release my crew.
you say you're a villain, but in fact, you're
No,
trying
but
to save your
I
people.
yeah, I guess. Sure. But like the the main place is the quarry. That's where all my race is at, all my family's at
Okay.
because they're working hard to just be there, but they're probably dealing with a lot more now since I destroyed one of their commanders.
So they're all still enslaved. So these friends
Yeah.
and family, like, are your parents still around? Do you have a significant other, children, brother, sister? Where's the
I
bloodline?
I do have a significant other, but she's not of my race. She is my first mate.
Okay. Was she? That's actually a good question. I was about to ask, was she a part of the original crew or one of the people that you quote abducted? But on that note, where did your original crew even come from?
Original Coug actually came from when I saw this nice little airship, just landed. And it was just a normal like merchant ship, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. But I wanted it. Like I thought it looked really nice. I thought like I could utilize
It's
that for my own gain.
like, I like this.
And
It's mine now.
it's weird. They're like, well, it's got no like cannons or anything. I'm like, I don't care. It's mine. And then I fought for it, and then took out the actual captain of the ship and claimed it as mine,
Hmm.
and took off with it.
And the rest of the crew of the original captain just followed with you?
A couple of them did. The other ones are kind of just stuck at a island somewhere.
Ah, well, at
No
least,
idea where, but
well, I mean, at least you gave them a choice, I suppose.
I guess. But we'll
So
see if they survive or not.
maybe I'll just craft a raft out of wood and hair. Uh, so
Wilson.
your waifu, did she was she part of the original crew or did you recruit her later?
I actually recruited her later.
Hmm.
Um, I was venturing into a similar island called Sapphire Shores, It had like this really interesting looking volcano, and of course, like a place that you would think that maybe it's just not active. No, it's been active for a while, just not spewing out. Um, she was actually stuck inside of a uh crystal, like those like when you see like giant crystallized forms or whatever, like you'll notice
Yeah,
like some things can get trapped, kind of like an amber
yeah.
for like mosquitoes,
So
like
in
old
other
stuff.
words, you say your wife is a giant bug,
Nah, no, she's not a bug.
but you just said you're not the
So
same species, and now she's
we're
trapped
not
in
the same
amber.
species. Yeah, well, she's a lot. Well, that's because she's a lava shark.
Ah, so she's not gross like a bug.
No, she's a lava shark.
Ah,
I
that
guess
explains
that's
why she was with
how
the
they.
lava.
Yeah.
So, like, you found this giant rock and got her out of it, and she was grateful enough to join you, or love at first sight.
I mean, I kind of fell head over heels for her, and I'm
Ah,
like, "Who is this beauty? Like more valuable than any other gem I've ever seen."
no, I wouldn't say that, but go on.
Oh, okay.
You can keep her.
Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, she was asleep for a bit, in that
Yeah.
sense. But I ended up, yeah, she ended up joining me. Loves like the whole, pillage and plundering and pirate aesthetic type deal.
Hmm.
Pretty fun. So, yeah.
And so you two hit it off pretty well. So do you two have a child on this ship, or do you two just not do that?
For our characters, we do not currently.
Okay. So now that we understand where you came from, what you're doing, did you ever return to decimate the slave owners?
Um, Not yet.
So it's on
Not
the
yet. I've been, like I said, I've been still trying to amass my crew.
so it's still on the to-do list.
Yes,
Uh,
because
so
I want to show that foreman where his right hand man went.
it became your right hand.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
So with that in mind, while amassing more troops and firepower, what are you doing in the meantime? What is taking you so long?
Looking, I'm just looking for like certain types of treasures, I guess, and then like kind of really discovering myself of what my abilities are, what I can do, and what my crew can do, kind of thing. Like how I found out, how I found out that I can, you know, take the minerals that I eat and shoot it out like a cannon,
Ah,
or depending on how I form the rocks in my gullet,
so like
I
does
can
sorry.
go on.
So what you fire out, does it depend on what you ingest?
Correct. So if it's say for instance if I eat a whole bunch of sand for instance,
Uh-huh.
that is a little bit more glass like and shatters
Ah,
when it impacts.
so it's worse for the
Um,
eyes. Got it.
yeah. Um, of course, rocks mainly just like condensed rock is what I usually go after because it forms like a hard, like almost like a cannonball,
And it's
like really
plentiful.
like almost like yeah. And like I said, it all depends on what I eat. I've had that
So
thought of like, what does the chaos crystal taste like?
yeah, I do want to lick one. But beyond that, so does that not ruin your teeth?
No, because of my race, we actually do eat Tarosha's diet. Explains why we're also like to dig
Ah,
a lot because we do eat the land.
okay. I think I
So
understand.
we don't have a regular diet. We have a
Hmm.
ferocious diet, as they call it.
Must be very hard for your wife to cook for you. Moving on. So we now know one of your powers. What is the typical range of one of these breath like attacks?
Um, Well, of course, I don't breathe fire, so it's
Right.
mainly just shooting off like a cannon, or
You're right.
rather,
It's not a it's not a breath attack. It's more of a vomit attack.
more. Kind of like the give an example, kind of like a Dodogama from Monster Hunter. It just give like people that kind of sense where that kind of character that character or monster in general
I have no
um
idea what that is.
eat so Dodogama eats rocks and spews it out.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
So it's
and he
another
actually,
Addy.
yeah, I guess so. Sure, he's a little bit chunky boy, but he's cool.
Okay.
Um,
But is the Captain chunky too, or no?
no,
Ah, so you're not the same.
I'm not a big, I'm not a fat boy.
Okay. Uh,
I'm more of a power type than a flight. So,
that
no wings.
reminds me of the following question about your race.
I
I'm f- I'm familiar with the typical dragons from Dungeons and Dragons. Where are your wings?
Okay, so dragons, not all dragons have wings. I mean, there are drakes, there are wyverns. Um,
I
but
have
I
no
am
idea what these things are.
wyverns
I
have
know.
wings attached to. Okay, well, it's for people who are watching
Not true.
here. So wyverns have their wings attached to their arms. Kind of like and they're a little bit more hunched over. Drakes are essentially no wings, but they're still of draconic descent. I'm considered a drake, but but a lot of people know me as a dragon.
Hmm.
Um, so they consider you can call them a drake or you can call them a dragon. It doesn't
So,
matter.
so what are you technically then? Because I know you go by dragon, but are you technically Drake
I'm
or are you
technically
technically
a drake.
dragon?
I'm technically a drake because I
Okay.
don't have wings.
Okay.
Winged ones are dragons. A full blown out dragon is wings, you know, arms, legs, whatever,
Right.
tail, horns, that kind of deal. So
Okay. So you cannot fly without your airship or any other means. Um.
I
So we know one of your powers. Are there any other powers you have that I should know about?
not really. I mean, it's simple. I mean, the powers that I have like is just mainly shoot, eating or grab. This is also the reason why the captain gets hungry a lot. Is because
Hmm.
he uses some of his food source to shoot projectiles.
Ew.
Yeah, so just to shoot projectiles out of his mouth. He can also condense them too to more where they're like kind of quarter size
Hmm.
and aim them like a kind of like a flintlock.
Yeah. So he makes it more dense and in that way more dangerous.
Yes. And
So
then I have potions on my side that are reserves as I call them, and they actually give you special properties.
so
So there's
they're like buff drinks.
kind of yeah. So like but they're more of like like kind of like a grog style one. But so when I swig it while I'm chowing down, they can do different things. Kind of like how like wispins are, where
Hmm.
for people who don't know what a wispin is, if you play Sonic Colors, um, they change the property of what Sonic does. So there's of course a fiery one that can't the cannonball that or that the projectile that I shoot will have fire properties, or if I want, one can have spectral properties.
Hmm.
Pretty much, you can go through a wall.
That sounds dangerous.
It is, but I wouldn't know what's behind that wall unless I shoot it.
I mean, if you see someone run behind a wall and lock the door kind of thing, you have a fair idea that your target's behind that door.
It's like I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow this door down.
More like I'm gonna huff and puff and I'm gonna negate your defenses. Uh, so, are there any other? If that's all the powers you have, are there any other skills or talents you have? Like, do you make your own potions? Are you a potion brewer? Uh,
Um,
you said you had a wrench. Are you good with technology or building things?
I'm good with
Details.
building. I'm good with building and with tech. So, because of like our race being with blacksmiths and whatnot, we build our own shit, our own stuff. Sorry. Um, like the wrench was actually my father's,
Ah,
and I I took that with me on my way around.
so the fact that your airship had no guns at the start wasn't really a problem because you'll just make your own.
Correct. Or I'll be my own.
Well, I'm speaking more so for the rest of the crew.
Right.
I don't think you want your crew
Oh.
holding you like a battering ram. Fire, fire! Quick,
Eh,
shove more rocks in his mouth.
that-
Well, at least you're not a breech loading, rear loading cannon.
oh God.
Anyway, now that we put that mental image in
Anyways,
your head,
that's great.
you're welcome. Uh, so with your potions, do you make them or does someone on your crew make them? Where do you get them?
The wife makes them. My first mate makes them.
Ah, okay. So she's the one.
Yeah, she's the potion creator. That's why actually one thing she's like, "Hey, try this," and I'm like, "Okay." And then it was like, "What was it doing?" And then I was like, "Let me eat something and see what happens."
Hmm.
And then I did like a course I shot, and I'm like, "Oh, those are nice." And then it became part of my arsenal.
Okay. So being a Mobian, what is your relation to other characters? Mostly like Eggman and Sonic and whatnot.
I mean, I'm my own faction, so I if you got the tech that I like, I'm gonna take it after take it from you.
So more so against Eggman just because you want his stuff.
Yeah,
That's fair. Uh,
and of course those hero types are a bother at times when they want to try to destroy your ships or ruin your crews.
Act first, think later.
Uh huh.
Run over and break your ship. Oh, I saw an Eggman robot. I don't care if it's reprogrammed. Uh,
You know, I've had a few people try to come at me with a spin attack, and they ended up being smacked like a baseball with my wrench.
hmm.
Talk about a home run.
And then off the side of the airship to plummet down to
There
the
you go.
ocean.
Yar.
Hmm. So now that we know this, what are your weaknesses? What are your fears? How does one beat you?
As one beach me, huh? Hmm.
You know, besides just overwhelming force.
Um. Well, of course, for one, if I don't have anything to eat, one thing, but
Um,
if I don't actually eat properly, like if I'm expending all my resources from my digestive system, um, I will get weak if I
okay.
don't eat.
So one way is to starve you out, but
Essentially,
that sounds like a long-term goal.
yeah,
But
or
but
just put me in an area that I can't eat at all.
so what's another way someone can defeat you? Maybe with your fears or your not physical weaknesses, but more like emotional weaknesses. Like
Like my
they
first mate.
yeah, so if like they capture her, are you gonna be like, oh no, damsel in distress, or be like, nah, she can handle herself.
Well, I mean, she can, but if she can get overwhelmed,
So you would
so
so you're saying you would be concerned, but not as
I still would be
blindly
concerned.
concerned.
Yeah, but I mean, I would still get really mad. I'm like, who captured my first
Oh
mate?
yeah, that's
And then
that's
like I would get in a rage.
oh yeah, that's totally fair. I was more so saying
Yeah.
like you'll be so distraught that you can't think straight, or you'll be like, I'm worried, but I know she can handle herself.
Kind of like it in between.
Hmm. So you would try to mount some kind of rescue attempt then.
It's more of like, hey, crew, we're gonna go get her, regardless of anybody else's safety.
But Captain, I still haven't got my sick leave yet.
I don't care. We are going after the first mate.
Uh, that's scary on the big screen. Uh, so, what what fears do you have? Are you afraid of spiders, snakes, bees, dragons with wings,
Oh, you're hilarious.
uh, leprechauns?
Why the little lads, hey?
I don't know. People have fears of anything.
I mean, are we talking like my character? Or are we talking like in real life?
Your
Because I
character.
mean, I okay. Wow. Difficult situation there.
You're saying you have
I
no
know, man.
fears?
No, I have fears. I just got to think. Like, I don't want to project my real life fears into the character. Um,
Well, sometimes that's easiest.
I guess
That's what I do.
I sure don't like things that slither.
Ah, so you don't like snakes and nagas and whatnot,
I
which is weird because you're both reptile-like.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You should be having, arms and legs. You shouldn't be slithering on your damn body.
So you're like, where
You
are
should
your
have
thumbs?
like where's your where are your other limbs?
Any particular reason, or do they just naturally creep you out?
They just naturally creep me out.
Hmm. Hmm. So
You
you're
know,
Indiana
really.
Jones, but pirate-like.
Sure.
All right. Why did it have to be snakes? Any
Yeah,
other
why?
fears or
I'm tired of these.
weaknesses?
I'm tired of these MF stakes on the MF plane.
But Captain, I was gonna cook them later.
All right, yeah, because it tastes like chicken.
I never had one. But yes, the fears and
Other fears.
weaknesses.
Of course, when things don't go as planned,
Well, that goes with anyone.
when you're out of options,
Yeah,
kind of deal.
I don't think that's a weakness. That's just reality.
This is reality.
Well, since you brought that up, though, what was the? I forgot the word I was looking for. Um, uh, Continual. I think.
Trying to think of like the other type of fears.
I remember what it was now.
It's just a sense of losing.
Again, that's.
I mean, well, I mean, there is such thing as a fear of losing, a
I see.
fear of failure.
Yeah, you're right on that. You got to make sure, got to prove yourself for daddy. Um, so with that in mind, we
Wow.
we know your weaknesses and your strengths and your abilities and powers, but do you have any? Because you said you're a strength type, so I assume you're strong. But do you have any? So that would be like a buff to strength. Do you have any debuffs, natural debuffs? Where are you weak
Natural difference.
at?
Well, remember the whole thing about being hungry.
Right, but that's anyone if they don't eat. I mean, under normal conditions, like,
Um,
can you not read? Or, like, obviously you're blind in one eye, correct?
I am blind in one eye. That's because I've gotten, that whole fight with that second in command. Yeah, he took out one of my eyes.
He took your eye, you took his life. Fair trade.
Yes. Yeah, an eye for life.
So, but, like, are
Uh,
there any other weaknesses? Like, are you bad at, like, really? Well, I guess you wouldn't be bad at math if you can make things. Uh, like, can you not read?
I mean,
Can you?
I can't fly.
Well,
That's for one.
that's normal.
Yeah. Um,
Not everyone's a dragon or a crocodile.
not no crocodile. Get out of here. Do I look like I
Okay.
belong to swamps? I'm not over here gonna. Let's find the computer room.
Hey, you are
No.
after an emerald taste, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Uh-huh.
But as far as
Uh,
your debuffs would go, like, do you not run as fast as a normal person, or
yeah,
are you?
I don't run as fast as a normal person does or any normal Mobian does. I
Well,
like I said, besides
we don't count Sonic as normal speed because it's not. But
no.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm more, you know, I have a pace and it's of course just like kind of like if you're jogging.
Hmm.
Like if a normal person is jogging, that's my
Wow,
pace.
that's pretty slow.
Yeah.
Are there any other debuffs or weaknesses that I can utilize against learn about?
Besides, I'm fairly heavy, so
Hmm. So
because
you're
you
saying
got
I'm gonna need
the
a
thing
crane?
about me. Well, like because you got to think like my Drake has stone parts on him,
Ah,
so like my ridges and my tail make me fairly heavy in a sense.
that makes sense. So we have to
Makes
strip
me
you down
respond as
naked
well.
in order to abduct you.
Sure.
And even then, you'll be heavy. We'll still need a crane.
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't realize your waifu was into big boys. Good to know.
Sure.
Wait, I thought you said you weren't fat. Never mind. Anyway,
Not the rocks on my body weigh me.
uh huh. And Cartman says he just has big bones.
Uh huh.
Uh huh.
Uh.
Let's see. So, is there anything else about your lore or background that you would like to add?
Uh, not that I can really think.
Okay. So, out of all the other Mobians and characters, which one do you respect the most, potentially like the most, and hate the most?
Are we including the doctor?
Sure.
Okay, I mean I respect Doctor Eggman and his of course strive for power.
Hmm.
Um, of course everyone's like, well, you gotta like Sonic. I'm like, no,
No.
I'm good. I'm not for hero types. I am not a fan of it.
No, I imagine we
Um,
would team up together before we work with him.
right. I Tails looks like he could do better than Sonic if
Yeah.
he was on his own. And of
Yeah.
course you got the airhead that's with that team.
The red one?
Uh, yeah. What was his name?
Uh
Knuckles,
that was enchilada.
Enchilada, something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, I forgot the name.
That doesn't matter. He's not
Doesn't matter.
important anymore.
It's not for you, right? Um, forgot what else was the other question?
It was mostly just like who do you like the most, hate the most, admire the most, and I suppose the one that you're most likely to team up with. But I think you already answered that with Eggman.
Yeah, if it was the case, it'd
Yeah,
be most likely with Eggman.
obviously you'd be careful with that because he's known to backstab. But you should already know that.
Yeah, takes one to know one.
Mm. So now that you made that little coy remark, how many people have you backstabbed and why?
I mean, how else did I get my ship besides like the fact of double crossing them?
Hmm. And how many other
It'd be
deals have you broken?
quite a few in my time,
You're one of those
but
people.
I mean, you have to do certain things to get what you want.
So you're a pirate with no honor, is what you're telling me.
There's some honor, not all honor. There is
All right. So where do you draw the line with I must keep this honor?
um,
Like if you were to say I give you my word, would you keep your word as best as you could, or would you just be like, nah, I changed my mind?
no, if I have to keep my word, I will keep my word. That would be the man of honor type deal.
Hmm.
It's more of um, like especially when someone is kind of like in dire need, but there's no other one around.
Hmm.
Like there's a village upon the shore that was getting wrecked by a rival faction of mine, and I ended up saving the village.
You said that like it hurt.
Yes, but when a
And
bad guy has partially good part in him, I guess. But
So
I told the village that I would take care of them
so
and
after
I'd
you
take
saved
care of them.
them, did you like loot them or did you just leave them be or
I just left them be
huh?
because I wasn't gonna be that type of guy that was just gonna take everything for what they have.
But you'll take anything from anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I took the loot from the other pirate faction, so
No, I meant so because earlier you said you'll go to shores and like pillage and loot other
right. But
people's.
when you have another faction just trying to take your stuff, you kind of have to do certain things to get somewhere. Kind of
Hmm.
deal.
So the only reason you won't loot someone is if they're already being looted by a rival faction.
Correct.
Weird, but okay.
I know it's kind of weird, but like you have some of those ones that really have zero honor and will take them, destroy their all their livings. I mean, I've done my destroying, but I've less. At least I've kept some things there for them to survive.
Right. So you don't burn down their village, you just take their goods and run.
Yes,
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else someone would like to know about this character and how I can beat them later.
sure. I mean, we
Yes.
could talk about like how the evolution of the character came to be.
Oh, yes. Tell us the meta.
So he originally originated as a professor, like as like the whole thing, like how the character was created, was that he was a steampunk professor. So I was into like kind of like Victorian style outfits. Um, Another reason why I still technically have a wrench. Um, throughout throughout the time I've had my dragon, I've actually had wings before. Um,
But then you got too hungry.
yeah, I get well. That's the thing. I had different. I had a different style tail. I had multiple different like clothing outfits. It got to the point where I really needed, or I really wanted to settle on a theme. And I tried my western. I tried being like sheriff cowboy type deal. That was all right in a sense. Um, I was still into like steampunk, so it still worked out well. But as I was playing more of Sea of Thieves, going into like being into pirate fairs, um, pirates really fit me as a whole, like both in real life and in games. Just because like
Real life. Who
it
have you
made it.
pillaged?
Oh sure. Well, I mean like I've gone to like I said, I went to pirate fairs and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, so I asked a friend of mine, or you might know her, Allie Foxtrot.
Mm-hmm.
She actually helped me out with the redesign of my dragon. So my horns are actually more back, a little more natural looking sort of deal.
Right.
Um, we took out the wings. We increased only my size a bit. Added my tail has a club end on it. Um, and as I had this, reference sheet, I went in to start adding pirate gear, and it made a lot more sense, and a lot of people actually started liking it. I went from a verdant green to an olive drab green, and it actually is my actual favorite color, which have so sage olive drab type deal, pretty nice. Uh, and then I went to do color theory with him, so green with brown and black and kind of like orange gold type deal. Worked out really well.
Oh.
Yeah. So things that complement him helps out a lot.
I mean, compliments always help people boost their
Yeah.
spirits.
I
Uh, so I'm just trying to think if there's anything else someone would like to know about the character. Uh, if oh, okay. So a little meta here. If you had an ending plan for this character, what would it be? And if you have
And
multiples, what's the good ending and what's the bad ending?
an ending, huh?
If he even has one. Or is he just gonna be a pirate for life until he's just like dies of scurvy or old age
Or goes down with the ship,
or ticks off the wrong crew member who shoots him in the back or whatever.
or stays in a cove and just stays there for life.
Like
Nothing but a nothing but a skeleton on a throne.
yeah, so like what's his endings if he even has multiple endings?
Um, I think once he's done amassing the glory and power, and rescuing his family from, or his his race from the foreman,
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll just either live out his life somewhere in a desolate area, or rather somewhere not any around, not around um the places, or
Someplace quiet.
like major areas. Yeah, someplace quiet.
So that would be like a good ending. Is there like a potential bad ending he could have that you would consider
Um,
canonical? Besides,
he was
being overwitted by a gloriously handsome individual with a nice hat.
yeah. He was taken out. I mean,
I mean, I'm sure his girlfriend takes him out all the time. It's quite lovely and romantic.
oh, this guy. Um,
But like,
uh, he'd probably be going down with his ship.
hmm.
Ideal. He'll be stuck with his ship. So, I mean, if someone found him, they'll just find him with the wreckage.
So, like, if someone were to
But
attack him that hard to destroy his ship, who would be the attacker? Who do you think would most likely be the attacker or attackers?
um, so either a bounty hunter or someone that actually is one of the other forces that comes after me,
Hmm.
or I'm way in over my head trying to attack.
I don't know, but I just envision a like your rival faction has made a pact with Eggman or something, and they're both attacking you. Just a sheer force of numbers and
Uh,
firepower.
yeah, where I'm overwhelmed and I'm not gonna win.
Yeah, maybe
Like
with
I said,
a disgruntled crew member being a little backstabby, telling them where you are and whatnot. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
that works. That
Uh,
actually works.
Yay!
I
I'm
like
helping
that.
plan your bad ending. But yeah, I
Could be
can't.
the right. Could be a rival pirate faction that goes with Eggman. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
please.
although I imagine after they take you out, they both fight each other because that's just what happens.
Bye.
Um, but outside of that, uh, so your legacy is just to be one of the greatest pirates that ever lived.
I'm not Luffy, by the way.
Well, I don't know that guy, so you're fine.
Okay. There's a lot of people who know who that is, so
That's fine.
they, they
So
watch
like
One
that.
Piece.
So one question I have, because you're on the sea a lot, what's your swimwear? Is it one piece?
Swimwear. No,
Yes.
I'm
Do you wear one
the, the,
piece?
the, the
A
jacket
one
and
piece
shirt
swimsuit?
come off. The jacket and shirt comes off. I'm still wearing my pants.
Okay, so it's not a one piece swimsuit for the
No,
greatest pirate that ever lived?
no.
Okay, Luffy.
Shut up. I don't have a. See, I knew it. I knew it.
And
You were gonna say something.
it took you how long?
Uh,
So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but that kind of.
I mean, I don't think I introduced the other crewmate that was a skelly boy. How he was.
Oh yeah,
Like I said, the wife.
Tell us about the rest of the crew, the named crew. No one cares about the
Okay,
background characters.
background characters.
Yeah,
So,
they're just there to get shot at.
there was this one crewmate that I actually went to go pick. Well, I actually discovered on a wrecked pirate ship, an old pirate ship, like it was just chilling there. I see the skeleton hovering over, or rather holding onto a chest on left hand, and a bottle of like grog in the other. And I'm sitting there going, I wonder what's in that chest. Well, as I get close to that chest, the skeleton awakens, right?
Hmm.
And starts attacking me.
So,
Well, I decided to, as we're fighting, I took a cannonball and actually ate it to
hmm,
reform it because it was like a rusted one,
ah,
and I shot it at him, and it missed, and the skeleton's like coming to his senses, and he's like, wait a minute, I'd rather be part of his crew. He's like, I don't want to be shattered,
like,
right?
hold on a second. I'm awake now.
So his name is Mills, or he was in a sense he was a Tanuki
Ah, okay.
who by greed was cursed um to stay on the ship with with all that loot and whatnot on the broken ship. Um so he became part of me crew,
Wait.
and
So if
sure
he's
enough,
cursed to stay on that ship with all the loot, how did he get on your ship?
he's cursed on the loot, not the ship.
Oh, okay. So you,
So the loot stays with me.
but you can never sell
No.
it. So,
In a sense, it's having, an eternal crew member.
so, like, I just thought of a weird loophole. Like, couldn't you like melt down some of the loot to make boots or like something for him to walk on, and thus he can just go wherever he wants?
That's a thought.
Ah, I have many of them. Most of
Or
them are
maybe
dumb.
make it part of his bones.
I mean, I don't know how he would feel about that, but it's an option.
Yeah.
Are there any other named characters on the ship that I need to be
Okay,
wary
so
of?
okay, besides there's Mills and there's Vesuvia, which is like I said, the first mate, the wife.
And
And not that I could think of right now.
so no anime girls, no anime cat girls, no anything, nothing like that.
No, not yet. Like I said, the crew's still
Okay, good.
growing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of background characters, but we're just
Yeah, they change in appearance every other issue. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Uh, so think I can't really think if there's anything else left. I think I have all the information I need to take you on or take you out, whichever is less
Oh,
romantic.
sure. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're trying to take me out or take me on, I'm gonna have to.
But if I were to take you out, what would outside of dirt, what would you prefer to eat? Like, can you eat meat?
Besides rock candy,
Right.
I mean, I could eat meat.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
could eat
Yes. Yes. We can dine on a kidney steak
or a flicky drumstick
potentially.
eventually.
Uh, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else people would want to know about this character or what I could use against them. And I can't really think of anything else. Uh, was there anything you wanted to say, be it your character or just in general, before we end this?
um, nothing I could really think of right now. I've
I,
said a lot. I've
I,
you know
I can think of a few things you might want to say.
ah
Your plugs.
my plugs. Oh well, okay, that too.
And not the one that we spoke of where your crew tried to reload you the wrong way.
So on Twitch, I am Captain underscore Ironbeard. On Twitter, I am also I'm actually at Cap CAPT Adimarchus on Twitter. Xbox, of course, I'm Adimarchus, straight out Adimarchus, which is what my name is. And then Second Life, Adimarchus Ironbeard. And besides Discord, of course, just Adimarchus. Adimarchus is used quite often.
Okay.
No other plugs I can really think of.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to say. Thank you for coming. This was fun. I'll definitely be doing this
Yeah,
with the
thank you.
others.
All right. Well,
All
maybe see you around in the air of the seas.
right. And my name is Razor Tim Core. I'm the same thing across all the boards and whatnot, so I'm fairly easy to find. You should know this if you're already here. So, blah. No reason to say that. And remember to like, favorite, and smash that subscribe button. Ring that bell and donate to my Patreon. Right, Addy? You're gonna donate to my
Right.
Patreon, right?
Yeah, sure.
With
You
all
gonna
that
send
loot
pics?
you have.
Sure.
And now that I have it on recording, let's all say goodbye. Goodbye.
Yar. Goodbye, mateys.
Farewell. I look forward to beating you soon. Good day and good night. Farewell.